Welcome to Self-Care Sunday. I am so glad you're here with me. I'm going to ring this singing bowl, and as you hear the sound of the bowl, I invite you to just start to slow down and find a place that you feel comfortable in your own home or wherever you are to just be here with me and with all of us, all those who are watching now or at another time, with a sense of presence. So first, I invite you to just pat yourself on the back, give yourself a little hug, um, for showing up for yourself in this way. And I invite you to consider something. Even though we are not together with others in the same room, or you're not with me, we are practicing together. Maybe not all of us at the exact same time, but we can still, if we let ourselves go there, we can still sense our connection. And this reminds us that we are not alone. A lot of you know me maybe, but if you don't, I'm Kara, and I'm a trained health coach and mind-body practitioner for over 20 years. And then I'm the executive director of Team Peace, a resilience building program for schools in our community. And you know what? I am not perfect at self-care, but I have learned over these years of practicing that it's not so much about doing one huge thing or really extravagant things, but it's about really small things every single day. And sometimes it feels kind of boring, but it's how we really build resilience in our nervous system. So I want you to just take a moment to think about this. How often do you really take time just for you, even just a few moments or a few minutes? For many of us, and likely most of us, we were conditioned that we're supposed to give and do for others before ourselves. I know I was. In our society, stopping to care for yourself in ways that are truly healing and restorative is often seen as selfish. And things like burnout, overwork, running at top speed are actually glorified. I've been there. And it's hard for me to find that balance still sometimes. But none of those things, that overwork, it doesn't really address stress. And I hear all the time how much our community, we want our community to address stress and things like trauma. And the truth is that no one else is going to come and fix us or save us, right? It has to start with each of us being willing to slow down, do self-care practices, knowing that it does help us show up in a more present and compassionate and full way for others, and that it also, because of that, helps others. So we're kind of just going around, but we're making sure we're taking care of ourselves first. And I also hate to break it to you, but self-care is not a daily coffee drink or a glass of wine or getting a manicure. Those things are great. I love doing those things too, most of them. But it's usually a dopamine hit, right, when we do those things. And true nervous system care and hygiene that builds resilience actually goes much deeper. We need regular daily rituals, like I just said, practices that help us take care of our mental, emotional, physical, social health, and even spiritual health. These are things that you all know. We all know this, right? This is not brain science. It's things like having genuine connections and friendships, people who we can trust, who we can just be ourselves around, right? Simply daily rituals that help us to relax or calm the brain and body when we need it. Good rest, good sleep, time outside in nature, one of my favorite things. Nourishing food, eating food that's actually feeding ourselves in a healthy way. Mindfulness practices that help our brain and body come into balance and even just a little bit of exercise, right? We know that these things support our nervous systems, our bodies, and our brains. And the thing is we want our children to learn these things. We want our children to be able to deal with stress in healthy ways. But unfortunately, we can't just tell them. Kids, the way they're developing in their nervous systems and brains, they don't learn, they'll learn some by what we tell them, obviously, right? But most of what they learn that's really going to get embedded is because of what they see in the people around them, what they feel from the people around them. If they feel and see good self-care practices, a sense of self-regulation in an adult or the adults around them, their nervous system will learn that just by being around it, more than by being told what to do. So these self-care practices, they are just for you, and you can focus just on yourself, and I encourage you to do that. But they will ripple out into your classroom if you're a teacher, into your home, into your community, into your workplace, right? And a healthy, thriving community is made up of healthy, thriving individuals. It's going to take each of us. That's all of us can focus on what helps us feel healthy and helps us to thrive, and that will ripple out and build that into our community. So I really want to just thank you again for being here. And we're going to get started with a practice of grounding through what's called controlled breathing, is one way to say it. We don't need or want to control our breath all of the time because our bodies know how to breathe naturally. But in moments of stress, gently guiding the breath can be a powerful tool. And even in moments when you're not stressed, this can help train your nervous system to move into a place of more regulation or calm that sets you up for those times of stress in a, kind of sets up a healthy foundation for when you are feeling stressed or have those moments of challenge that you can really tap into that. So I'm going to invite you to find a comfortable position, and that can be seated, like I'm seated in a chair. It could be laying down. It could be even standing. You can do this standing. And get yourself, fairly comfortable. And I always like to start just by feeling my feet, remembering that I am here right now, right? My feet, where are my feet? How are they positioned? Sometimes I'll wiggle my toes or move my ankles or squeeze and stretch my toes a little. Whether they're on the ground or you're laying down and they're not on the ground, it doesn't really matter, right? Just move them around a little. Notice that you have feet. And then with your hands and arms, just rest them wherever it's comfortable for you. As we move into this, you're welcome to close your eyes, but if you'd rather keep them softly open, that's okay. I just invite you to let your eyelids feel just a little heavy and start to feel your breath. Now, as you feel your breath, just take a moment to notice that you are being supported by the ground underneath you, the floor, whatever you're sitting or lying on, your chair or your bed or your couch. And just notice that you're in a sense of being supported and you're just letting your body be here and now. Then bring your attention back to your breath. And as we do this practice, we're going to be counting with your breath, our breath. You can breathe in through your nose if it's comfortable, and if not, just breathe through your mouth. And when you breathe out, you can either breathe through your nose or your mouth, whichever you like the best. So just take 1 or 2 breaths, noticing in through the nose if you can, out through your mouth or nose. And then I'm going to invite you to start to count with your breath. So you're going to practice and finding your own count, breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 5 or 6. So find your own count. Continue to breathe in this way on your own, adjusting the pace of your counting to whatever feels most comfortable for you. Try to breathe in a way that expands your belly on the inhale. And your belly goes back in on your exhale. And if that isn't happening, it's okay. Just we'll keep practicing and working on this each week. Breathing in for 4 and out for 5 or 6. If you want to lengthen your breath a little more to a count of 7 or 8, you can do that. And just notice how your body's feeling, what's starting to happen. Your breath might feel a little slower. Now, if it feels strained or really tense, then just go to a normal breath. Let it go. When I do this, I feel my jaws relax, my shoulders relax a little. This is my nervous system settling. I feel my brain and the thoughts slow down just a little. My thoughts aren't going to stop. Well, that's not what we're trying to do. That's what the brain does, it thinks. But I do feel that they get a little slower. And if you don't, that's okay. Because everybody's different. And if this is a new practice for you, it's going to take some time, right? And not every practice works for every person. But I do encourage you to keep practicing daily for a week or two just to see if your nervous system starts to get more used to it and shift into a little more of a settled, slower pace, even just a tiny bit. We're looking for micro shifts, nothing huge, just a little more sense of settled, a little tiny bit slower, a little more sense of relaxation. When you're ready, you can let that practice go and just breathe normally and naturally and just kind of let yourself settle. Practices like this can set us up for being more present, more tolerant and patient, more compassionate. And when we can feel that in ourselves, for ourselves, it helps us when we're with others. It helps us to be those things with those who are around. They feel it. And then that helps regulate their nervous system. It's called co-regulation. And then if they can start to feel that, then they are going to be that regulated space for someone else. When we do a longer exhale than inhale, it kind of hijacks our brain and sends a signal of safety to our brain and our nervous system. So that's why the longer exhale. It can be really helpful in those times when we're feeling a little nervous, a little anxious, a little irritated or angry. And we just slow and lengthen our exhale. And all of a sudden, our brain and body are going, oh, you know what? I'm actually okay. It's okay. I'm feeling this emotion. I'm feeling a little tense. I'm feeling a little frustrated, but it's okay. I don't need to react really quickly. I don't need to yell or scream. I'm just going to take some breaths and give myself a pause. These, in one of the trainings and modalities that I'm becoming a practitioner in called somatic experiencing, we say slow is fast. So actually, when we're talking on a nervous system level, slowing down is actually what is going to create more healing and restoration and strength in our nervous system than going fast. So just for 10 or 15 minutes every Sunday, if you can slow down with me, and we are here to support each other and do it together, it is going to make a difference, especially if you do it daily or on a regular basis over a period of time. So I thank you so much for joining me. Maybe take 1 or 2 more slower breaths just to kind of settle and integrate it into your system. I hope you'll join me every week for Self-Care Sunday. And remember to take care of yourselves all throughout the week, knowing that it's going to help you, and in that, it's going to help all those around you. With great love, see you next time. Have a great Sunday. Peace.